next time. Weighted pulse.
I thought they said no cells on the table while playing.
Why? What's going on?
Oh, you're right. No cells. That is cell.
And the pop figure? Yo, shout out to my boys Funko. Representing some harsh wastes of money in my life for the past couple. Chris Bruce.
Alright, so I'm not sure exactly what Nicolai is playing. If I had to guess, it'd be Necros. But last time I guessed Necros, I was wrong, so...
Leaf assault mode. Watch the last won the last round, I believe.
Leaf assault mode?
Is that not how it's spelled?
Right.
This man just keeps his deck on top of Cell.
Apparently.
What's going on here?
We'll move on. Let's see how it works.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that count as just having a card in your deck?
How do I spell that? E-N-S-E. I was just like, how do you spell Juergensen?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Necros and Cosmo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Necros v Cosmo.
Like, if I were Nicolai, I'd have Cell looking at my opponent, intimidating
I
him.
just want to see his hand to confirm that it's Necros. I'm pretty sure he's playing Necros.
If I played, I would just have like 30 pops out,
Alright,
just like looking at my opponent, just like a whole bunch. They'd
the
all be
the
like
boxes.
in the box, obviously NRFB, like.
Alright, well, I know he's playing Cosmo.
He has blue.
Oh, you saw blue?
No, he's making
Nicolai's playing mono blue control.
Okay, I was pretty sure he was, but...
I thought it was Gishki.
Thought it was Gishki. I read Gishki Chain the other day, and I'm like, this card's not even bad.
It isn't.
It's
But
not even bad.
when Manju and Senju were at 1 in the OCG, they were playing that
Also,
card.
players, you have 1 hour, you may be
And
getting-
even when they weren't, some builds were playing that card.
It's like not bad. Oh man, we're just going hard.
We just got full
We're just
attack,
going
attack,
full
attack.
power here.
E-Telly for the win? Does he have it?
He does not have a way to...
I have a
deal
question.
out the
Be
last big
gentle
damage.
on my soul, please, for asking this. Does Necros Trish target?
It does not.
Okay. Just be gentle on him. Nah, I've been like saying, you know, I don't really play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore.
Between the Factor, the Synchro, or the Trish?
Alright, so he took 15.
You have to banish.
So he went to 65, then he went to 47,
Well,
and
no,
then he
you have
went
to
to
banish
19.
all of them. Yeah. Like, if they don't have a card in your grave, you can't use the effect. Whereas the other Trish, you could, like, just hit a card out of their hand and field without a
Or
grave.
2 out of the 3 and still be fine.
Yeah.
This one you have to meet all 3? Yeah.
If you don't have a card in your hand, field, or grave, then they can't use the effect.
Alright.
So that's why people just be setting their whole hands. They're like, no Trish.
That was like the
power.
scariest thing though. If you were playing a back row deck,
Yeah.
like you and it's like, oh, I have to set my whole hand so I don't get trished, and then they're like, oh, Exiton or
Or the little
Denko
Denko
or
circle.
Denko Exiton.
You're like, no. There is no winning there.
That was the thing.
It was the equivalent of being like, oh, what if they have MST? I gotta set 3 backer, and they get heavy, and you're like, all right, what if they have heavy? Set 1 backer, MST. You're like,
What did he phone on this?
I feel as though. Oh, bro, he bought almost both.
That's always super rough when you end up when you collide out for multiple monsters.
That is
and get
relevant.
bottomless.
He used
And that- and
Dragon
that's
Master Knight.
Well, that's because of the Max C. Like he chained Max C to the Kaleidoscope, so he's like, well, I don't want to summon multiple times. I'll summon once, and then the bottomless.
Kevin Juergensen.
That
had the
happens a
combo.
lot with decks that are playing Retaliating C too, where it's like they play the Kaleidoscope, and you're like Retaliating C, so now your Herald will get banished. So like, oh well, I'll summon out Unicore and Valak instead of just Unicore, and then oh, bottomless.
Shit, he's got the Pokemon, the ship, and the fairy.
Nicolai is literally Reston Periwinkle.
Like he's
What is that?
yeah, he has to let that attack go through
And
because otherwise it dodges
for
Valak.
the game?
Isn't he just dead here?
Yeah, and that's game one because Kevin just
Bottomless was literally like,
that bottomless trapple was super strong.
I will find my way.
So that has been a running trend though today. Is like a lot of games being decided by like quick rushing. Like it's been like round one was floodgates, round two is quick rush, then floodgates. This has been a quick rush. We'll see how it keeps going. As far as I know, he's playing pure Cosmo. Yes, he isn't playing any sort of like other variant. I have seen a couple. I'm not sure if anyone's playing it here today, but I have seen in the area some people playing Cosmo with Shadalls, which is an interesting concept. I'm still not sure how good or bad it actually is, but it's an interesting idea. Well, the first feature match we did took up most of the round. Granted, it was only the games themselves weren't that long, but there was like a lot of just trying to play around floodgate cards, and it was just like, well, what play is the right play to do?
J-Bob.
All right, X-Wing players, listen up. In about 2 minutes, we'll announce the round one pairings. So get ready, guys.
Yeah, he had to enter scope phase.
Enter scope phase. So I saw Retaliating Seas come in on Kevin's side. I'm so on the fence about side decking that card in Cosmos, just because of the fact that if you end up dropping it when you have like a Forerunner or something on the field, it denies your effect. Whoa, yeah, that is on the wrong side.
Also, if you are playing X-Wing, if you can make your way up to the front of the store, it'd be much easier for me to announce the pairings up in the front. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really awkward trying to figure out what to side out in a lot of decks, like, especially decks that like they're designed like they have so many like different parts that need to work together.
Yeah, why does this man keep cylinders? Oh, you know why? To keep the opponent from looking when shuffling or something.
Yeah, probably. It's like, oh, if you're gonna cut my deck, then
I guess, but he just keeps it there the entire time. What's going on here?
I don't know.
Did it one more time?
It's a final cut. So
the cell's freaking me out. I'm not gonna lie to you. It like bothers me.
we have double Cosmotown, Honest, MST, and Farm Girl.
Is that an Honest or a Veiler?
That's definitely an Honest. It was Ghost Rare.
Okay.
It's either an Honest or a Mobius, and I don't think it's a Mobius.
Well, let's see how it plays out.
What do you mean? It could be a Rainbow Dragon.
Okay, it could be a Rainbow Dragon, or even a Galaxy Eyes.
I wonder how he played that.
Could have been Galaxy Eyes, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's a Ghost Rare, Honest, and not an ulti effect failure. Out of things that it could realistically be.
I mean, this man is like, someone get that man some medication or something. He's trying to start a fire with the cards in his hand.
Alright, so we have Cycle off the bat. Should be Shirt for Velk. I always feel like the deck used to be like just this play. It's like, oh, I have to tribute a Sheriff or something. It used to be like super strong. Now it's like so-so just because you only have the one shirt. But it does like guarantee that you have something to go into though. Like just getting the Brio and Brio into whatever else. Not as good as having like a... Oh, it could be a ghost course, I'll give you that.
I lost the deck for a second, but then I saw Cell.
You know the deck's there because he has perfect cell. Bro, I'm about to jump into a painting, real talk.
So Brio's gonna get pitched. Can't see what the rest of his hand is, so... Not sure what the best play is here. But I'm hoping that it's pretty obvious that Kevin has the honest here, because he just summoned the...
Well, he can't use the effect.
He just summoned
He
it in
can
past.
bring it out. I mean, if you wanted to. What does that guy do?
That's one of the newer cards they started playing. It's Exa. It's a level 5. When it's tributed by a card effect, you get to add a Dragon Ritual Necros from your deck to your hand. And when it's banished, you get to summon a banished Necros monster, except itself.
Like summon a banished Necros.
Yeah, it can't bring out the rituals, but and he was able to tribute off both that and Great Sorcerer. So for his Valk effect, so he's gonna he gets the 2 draws, and then he gets to search out both a spellcaster and a dragon.
It's like Necros had other good cards they weren't playing.
That's because they did. That's literally exactly what it was. It's just
so I was saying earlier, like with decks like these that are like that strong, they're just like, oh, we're strong and like oppressively powerful, and they're like, hit it. They're like, okay, we had a bunch of other good cards that we didn't use before
because
we
they just weren't as good.
Yeah. Just like hit Dragon Rulers. It's like, and now we use the Dragoonides. Let's go now.
Like, okay, he arguably could be bluffing honest, but that play seems so risky. Like, to bluff having the honest in that position. I don't think he realistically would do that without having it.
He would automatically guess that he
Yeah.
had
I think we all went through the same like thought process, because I also was like, what is the benefit of summoning that monster here?
I don't think I would have summoned anything.
That's right, bro.
Yeah, but
He's got
Nicolai has like what, 7 cards in his hand now? And I would say that's instant fusion.
Once we start, we are going
I think that's the first instant fusion we've seen today.
Instant fusion? That's it.
Let's just say we saw it.
Oh yeah, the first one that's resolved. The first one we've seen activated.
Saw one with a vanity something.
Yeah, Mike Sanders got Kling Klonged earlier.
Norton hits the board and brings back the Great Sorcerer that was just tributed. That's gonna make...
Dude, where's Pat Hoban? How's he doing?
I'm not sure.
Pat Hoban. I wonder if he lost round 1 and then just went back to Georgia.
I know I saw him playing round 2. That is true. We do have the pang sheet here.
I lose.
I actually don't see Hoban listed here on the pairings. I have a feeling that he lost his second round as well.
Right here.
Oh, that's round 2.
Yeah, you're right.
Connor got excited.
Oh, is it my first name?
Alright, so now we have a Kaleido into a Unicorn. And we're going to have some big Xyz play here.
No.
We have a 3 material Xyz play. I'm expecting this to be a Masquerade. And that is Masquerade. That is going to be able to negate any sort of effect that activates in the any sort of monster effect that activates in the battle phase. And we have a normal summon Trick Clown. And we have a Mirror. We're gonna banish the Shuret to summon Decisive Armor. And that is lethal damage on board through the Honest because of Masquerade.
Alright, say Masquerade again?
Masquerade.
Alright, so number 104 Masquerade, its effect is whenever your opponent activates a monster effect in the battle phase, you can detach a material, negate the effect, and burn your opponent for 800 damage.
You can tell...
So he just tried to chain
He dropped the Honest, and the Masquerade's going to negate that Honest and do 800 damage.
You can tell the two different style of commentaries you have here. When you say Masquerade again, Bobby told you the effect, and I said Masquerade.
I don't know where to go with that one. But thank you.
So that's going to be
really
800 burn,
asking for.
and then 1,200 damage over that, and then we're just the two rituals attacking is going to be game. Like Masquerade is amazing in this matchup because not only does it stop cards like Honest, but also stops Juergensen. If you can get a monster that can run over, like if your opponent is like a Forerunner, he could have that same position. It's like, okay, my Valk will run over your Forerunner. You want to banish your Forerunner to summon something from your deck. Well, I'll negate that too. Like, and it's not even once per turn, so you can stop up to 3 of your opponent's effects during that battle phase. It essentially seals the OTK if your opponent doesn't have the back row.
Yeah.
It's one of my personal favorites for any deck that can afford to make a 3-material Xyz play. So yeah, that's a swift OTK powered by Masquerade, Instant Fusion, and a lot of Necros effects. And Nicolai takes game 2.
What was that, 2 turns?
Yeah, that.
Nicolai, yep. So first game.
Yeah, actually, that was Nicolai's first turn.
Yeah,
that was Nicolai's first turn.
1 turn for each of them, and that was it.
Like sometimes you get those.
I mean, in
boards,
all fairness, Kevin did also
like
just go Cosmo past.
Well, a lot, and I've been hearing a lot of people be like, "Oh, is Instant Fusion even worth playing in Necros?" And I think that's a good thing to show. It's like, yeah, it's strong there. Like even like, I was like thinking about a bunch of the different plays you could do with Instant Fusion. It's like minor things that you could do that I don't know if it's worth the extra X space. Like, well, if you want something that can help thin your deck more, you can bring back Manju or Senju and make Fairy Cheer Girl and start cycling through your deck. Like, I don't know if there's extra X space for that, but that's an option. Obviously, there's the 2200 attack Abyss Dweller play that, like, Norden's really strong for. And then even like if you have Valkyrius on the field and you haven't used its effects yet, you can Instant Fusion to bring out Norden and bring back one of your other monsters, like your Shrit or your Great Sorcerer, and then just tribute them both to draw 2 more cards and get a search.
The lesson here is that Wolf Barks are good.
Wolf Barks that don't take your normal summon are better.
Are even better.
Right. Let's have a good game here, nice and clean.
Let's have a clean fight. No perfect cells. Why'd you have to ruin it? Literally remembered perfect cell. Just looking at me. Put me on tilt.
Alright, so I'm assuming Nicolai is going.
Draw your pathetic card.
Got that bottomless metaphors.
Because both the Cosmo and Necros matchups, like both decks want to be getting the extra card and the first opportunity to attack. So I'm assuming that Kevin made Nicolai go first here. And we have a preparation of rights. And it's like, I really hate when you're when you play Necros, you never want to have to play the preparation of rights turn 1 before you do anything else. But sometimes it just ends up being a rota for your ritual monsters.
Is emptiness still good?
Emptiness will always be good.
LOL.
I don't know like what position that card will be good
The
in.
cell's putting me on. The cell's putting me on tilt. It's not even like.
Okay, before people realized
even clean
emptiness was a
anymore.
card, it was still good. It was just no one played it because most people didn't realize it existed. And it's like one of those things where you read it and you're like, oh, it blows itself up if like anything happens. That's bad. And then you realize, oh, but it just stops everything until that happens.
I was playing on
that's
DN,
good.
and someone flipped an Emptiness on me while they had a Barkion out, and I like had never read that card before, and I read it and I'm like, how's this even good? Dark Hole. Man, what a waste of a card. That card's so terrible. I was so wrong.
Ice-Wing players, we're actually going to be doing
Just
5 7
there. I was playing dragons. And they
5 7
Rest in peace, their souls, you
I
know.
was like,
I hope they're doing better up there.
I was like, all right, run your boss over. All right, that does that right. Am I reading this right?
Yeah, there's always that moment where you're like,
And then-
send a thing to your grave, you're like, wait, you're like, that's all it takes, right?
All right, so we have an Emerald. So we're just gonna. He's just doing a like simple, thin out the deck, craft your hand type play here. Yeah, the Kaleido Unicorn play, search out Brio, Brio to Unicorn, Unicorn back to Brio, and then restock the deck with way overlaying.
Nicolai's looping himself.
Like, essentially that's what it does, is you end up getting, you craft your hand a bit for the next turn, you fill up your graveyard to protect yourself from things with Valk or whatever, and then... well, he has a Clasillus in his graveyard to banish for Valk if it's in his hand.
Do you think Nekroz will still be good after the Diner, Drive-In, and Dive archetype comes out?
And just to be clear, X-Wing players, we're not using the
I
new
think it'd be
damage
tough
decks.
for them to not be
Again,
good,
X-Wing
but
players,
it might
we
be
are
tough.
not going to be using the new damage decks.
Alright, so we have a Good Witch. You're paying 500 life points to flip that down. And Emptiness is flipped when it tries to blink out. But he will pay some life to get it back to his hand though, with Cosmotown.
This round, I think I want him on stream next. He's a really good
Yeah.
player. Who? Player. He's a table one. Okay.
He's a what player? People are just coming up to me like, oh, my name's Jonathan Wilson. I'm like, all right, cool, great. I'll keep you in mind. Jonathan Wilson. It's especially great when people are like, how do you guys pick the person where like we only go for people who are like high, you know, like undefeated. And they're just like, well, I'm 0-2. Is that good? No. Things do not look well for you, friend.
We know one of those is a bottomless.
Bottomless.
This event is good motivation to lose weight, though. I need to fit between these chairs.
No way.
It's awful. I'm still trying to fit in with my
All
injury.
right, X-Wing players. We are about to start. Before we begin, again, it's going to be 5 70-minute rounds. We are still using the old damage deck. If at any point you have a Ruins question, just raise your hand.
I'm gonna get a Guy Fieri. Yeah, what is Guy Ferrari? I don't like. Is that the fusion monster?
Guy Ferrari.
Ah, that scares me.
Go ahead and begin.
Just being on the ground.
Alright, so
I'm like, if this happens, yeah. And I just see you go.
looks like an attack just connected from the...
Oh, is this the plan now? Just summoning.
Yep.
How much attack does that have?
15.
Thank you.
It's not much, but...
Does he have Valk?
After the first round.
Does Valk matter?
Well, Decisive Armor could matter.
Oh,
He's
decisive
going to
armor.
attack.
Why wouldn't he put it face down then if decisive armor
Well,
matters?
Decisive Armor boosts defense as well, but,
Oh, lol.
like...
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Valk?
decisive... Is that a Decisive Armor?
That's an armor, yeah, that's an armor.
That's a Decisive Armor. Going to boost it up to 25. And that Good Witch is going down.
Kevin Juergensen's getting Klinkklon. I can't believe that card raises defense too. What's going on here?
Even face down monsters, or does it have to be?
Well, you can use it in damage step once it flips. So...
Yes, they're talking about Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri is the host of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. He's also Violent J from the Insane Clown Posse, and he's the lead singer of Smash Mouth.
So crashing into that decisive armor play puts Kevin at 49. And I think it's just going to swing in again, put him to 34. Vanny's Emptiness showing why it's such a strong card. Like he doesn't even have a big board here, but he doesn't even need it.
Get out your little blue tickets. Our first winner for this
was that on the same attack?
7660690.
690. There are 400 other people in here?
Just want to double check. I'm not sure if that Mirror Force was on that attack that I dropped into 34. Okay.
What is a juggalo? We don't talk about juggalos here. Juggalos are banned.
Alright, so that Mirror Force does clear out the emptiness, though, and all that means that Kevin potentially could get
Like the
another play through.
That's a gigolo. We're not talking about gigolos or Juergensen. We're talking about juggalos. Silent J and Shaggy 2 Dope. Or sorry, Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope. We almost had an Insane Clown Posse Clerks mashup on our hands, and I didn't want to be a part of it.
Alright, so we're going to search out a spell here and trigger the effects of Great Sorcerer to dump a monster to the grave, probably dumping Exa. And then by banishing the Exa and another spell, I'm not sure if he has another spell in his graveyard yet, but... Oh, he has... I'm trying to remember exactly what he has here.
Alright guys, it's
happened
time
which
for
game.
our second winner. Ticket is number 766.
Oh, the card you saw him draw from his deck to his hand before he flipped the Mirror Force, he literally drew for turn and passed, and then he attacked into the Mirror Force. That's why I was wondering, it's like, wait, was that Mirror Force on the attack that was bringing him to 34, or was that on the next turn? And that was on the next turn.
0608.
Like that max he has there was his draw for turn. And I think
Going
that's part of what
once.
encouraged him to play the Mirror Force, because like I'll get rid of the emptiness, he'll do some special summon plays I can draw from max C. Alright, and there's a mirror, and Maxi is chained. So if that mirror play was going to banish the Exa, that's going to guarantee him 2 draws here. But no, it is Trishula. And if this Trishula effect resolves, that is going to be huge. Oh, and drawn off of the Trishula summon was a Retaliating C.
That's how we get daggered.
Hopefully, he doesn't try that.
That's rough. That's rough. So is anything going to be used in response to this Trish?
Alright, it's time for our third raffle winner.
There's an E-Telly chained. Okay, so chaining the E-Telly, this will ensure that the farm girl gets banished. And, or at the very least, sponges an attack.
Come on up. Alright, you can come up when you're finished with your round. Alright guys, we'll be doing another raffle at the top of the hour. Thank you.
And
I'm butt blasted.
so the farm girl hits the field, and banished is going to be a Mirror Force, the Cosmo Town, and a random card from hand. He's gonna roll for it.
For a second there, it looked like he was trying to conduct an orchestra.
Yeah. Alright, so... And he hits the Forerunner as well. That's... Oh my god, that sucks that he hit the Forerunner, because it was like The whole thing here was if he didn't hit the, or if he didn't hit the Forerunner, he could blink out the Farm Girl to summon the Forerunner to the field. Farm Girl got banished from Italy. It looks like he
See, they could have learned their lesson the first time, been like, let's make the new Trish target.
Well, they did make the new Trish more fair than the original Trish, but only marginally so.
By a very narrow margin.
That's not fair.
She's like, oh, but I can't do it if you ain't got a card in the graveyard.
And Kevin is down to 700 life points, which is not a position you want to be in.
You drew a town. Town costs life points?
Yeah, that it does. He's at 700, which means he can add back the Farm Girl and drop to 400, and then not be able to use its effect even if he could do damage. Like
what is his back row?
I know he has an E-Telly. I don't know what that he drew the turn before and set. I don't know what else he has. Right now he's forced to play just a really awkward defense game and just try and find some sort of out. He's just in such a bad position right now due to his life. Now, what's going to be interesting is to see is if Nicolai plays Cowboy still. Like like if he has like an instant fusion play that can bring out like Cowboy, that's just it.
See, this is one of those moments where when people are like, life points don't matter in this game.
They do sometimes.
They do sometimes. You gotta be a little careful.
Can't be too reckless.
It's usually the same people that are like, life points don't matter. They're like, I can't play my soul charge.
There's a Manju. And Shared Ride is chained.
Ooh, we drawn today, buddy.
Yeah, and he's just going to search the Valk and just chill, most likely. I don't see him being any more aggressive than he already is. He can have the Trish attack over. Oh, there's a Raigeki. He doesn't even need the Trish to attack over. Is he not going to search out a Maxi? Or he's trying to change something. Oh, he's like, yeah, it's not going to matter. You have it. Yeah, searching the Maxi wasn't going to... it didn't matter because all he had to do was attack. I think he was like, yeah, I'm just going to attack. He's like, you didn't search the Maxi, but I'm just going to attack. So, yeah.
That was a decent game.
That was a pretty good match all around. So, Nicolai with Necros ends up taking the match 2 games to 1 against Cosmo.
We're going to do one more raffle. So get your tickets ready, guys. We have one more raffle.
I got one of the first tickets. Mine's at the bottom of the barrel.